Israel has emerged as an important market for Bangladeshi goods, and this despite the fact that there are neither diplomatic ties nor formal trade between the two countries. WION's Bangladesh Bureau Chief Saad Hamadi finds out more.
The two countries have no diplomatic relations, yet Bangladesh's exports to Israel have increased significantly in financial year 2015-16 compared to the past. In financial year 2015-16, Bangladesh's export revenue from Israel had an uptick at $275,000. In 2014-15, the export revenue stood at only $47,236. In 2013-14, the value was far less at only $2,577. Bangladesh's pharmaceutical exports are the top revenue earners from Israel. The South Asian country also supplies clothes and furniture there.
Totally surprised that we're exporting to the Israel. Maybe it is a third country. They took it from us, and then where they sell, we don't know. We don't have any trade agreement or any other agreement or any other relation.
Authorities say there is no direct export route to Israel, but the lack of diplomatic ties are no hindrance. Some goods can be forwarded through the United States or another third country. Bangladesh's Export Promotion Bureau denies the existence of formal trade ties with Israel, but interestingly, its website acknowledges the receipt of export revenue from that country. It's an ambiguous relationship, but there is no denying that where there's a will and an export market waiting, suppliers circumvent the diplomatic route and find other ways. In Dhaka, Saad Hamadi, WION.
Saad Hamadi joins us on the broadcast for more on that story. Saad, just for those who are joining in right now, give us an idea of what exactly Bangladesh's stated position towards Israel is, and has there ever been a deviation from that position?
Not necessarily, Aisha. Bangladesh, since its independence, has not recognized Israel. Even though Israel recognized Bangladesh as early as in February 1972, Bangladesh has maintained the position of not recognizing Israel in particular because of its allegiance with the Palestine and standing by the Palestinians, where the country and the government or the political parties in Bangladesh believe that Palestinians are being occupied by the Israelis. And under those circumstances, they have not accepted Israeli passports, or anyone traveling with Israeli passports, or someone going out of Bangladesh to Israel is also not possible under Bangladesh passport. Under those circumstances, there is no official or diplomatic relation with Israel in particular.
All right, stay with me, Saad. Let me take that to you, Ambassador. What do you feel is stopping Bangladesh from formalizing its ties with Israel, keeping in mind, of course, overtures like other traditional enemies like Saudi Arabia have had towards Israel? Doesn't it seem like this is the right time, perhaps?
Many countries in the region, in West Asia and South Asia, have serious concerns about domestic public opinion. In our country as well, as you remember, there has been a certain public statement that India did not have diplomatic ties with Israel because of the views of the Muslim community. That was said even by Foreign Minister Jaswant Singh when he went to Israel. But this is ridiculous as far as India is concerned. We have one foreign policy, that is our national foreign policy, and nobody had any views about having relations. With regard to Pakistan and Bangladesh, which are avowedly Muslim countries and a very substantial Muslim population, Palestinian issue is a very sensitive issue.
Right.
And the fact that Israel has made no effort whatsoever to address the genuine aspirations of the Palestinian people is a very, very serious matter for these domestic populations. And you will therefore not have any government in Dhaka or in Islamabad that is capable of a major overture to Israel publicly. And in the case of Saudi Arabia as well, let me clarify. As far as the public is concerned, they have not been informed about the engagements that the kingdom has had with the Israelis. They have not been informed. It is still being done at a very low-key level, behind the scenes, largely academic in character, some kind of conversation, and a very strong focus on the Arab peace plan. I would like to suggest to you that if the Israelis were to make a genuine effort to address the concerns of the Palestinian people within the framework framework of the Arab peace plan, I think you would see a sea change in the attitude of most countries. The problem lies in Tel Aviv, not in these capitals.
Okay, Padma, you'd like to come in?
Ambassador, I just had a question. With all due respect, you know, we were listening to Saad on Bangladesh and what he named an ambiguous relationship, and I was listening with great interest to your remarks that things would change if Israel changed its policies towards Palestine. But with all due respect, you know, how is it, other than moral support, what is it that makes countries that are so far away, that are not culturally, only religiously linked, but beyond that not ethnically linked with Palestine? Neither is Bangladesh nor Pakistan, nor are they, you know, linked in any other way, in the sense, other than religion. There's nothing else that links them.
I don't think that is true at all.
So I'd like your opinion. No, I'm not making a statement, I'm asking you.
The Palestinian cause is not a religious issue.
Okay.
It is an issue which is a carryover of colonialism.
Okay.
It has resonance across Africa. It has resonance across Latin America. Let us be very clear. The populations there are equally agitated about the cause of the Palestinian people, and they're deeply concerned about the extraordinary violence that Israel has unleashed upon the Arab people from time to time, as recently as in Gaza in just 2014, and before that in 2009, and before that in 2006. So there are genuine concerns about the Israeli aggressiveness and extraordinary violence as well. It is not an Islamic issue at all.
No, sir. I was agreeing. In fact, that's what I started by saying. It is not an Islamic issue. And it is certainly, what I said is that the only commonality is the religion. Other than that, they don't have geographical borders that they share. I was just curious to know from you as to what motivates, you know, something happening very far away, which is not actually affecting, let's say, my daily life or yours. What makes, what gives rise to these concerns? I agree, and I admit, and I think that I admire these countries for what you're calling genuine concerns. But I'm just curious about what possibly could they change, sitting so far away, without being either geographically linked.
I don't think distance has anything to do with this. It's a matter of moral principles over here. You find, for example, Mahatma Gandhi was deeply concerned about the Palestinians.
Right.
Nehru was concerned about the Palestinians, as was Indira Ji. Even Prime Minister Modi has genuine concerns for the Palestinian people.
Right.
So when we engage with the Israelis, we constantly remind them that you will have genuine peace in this region if you address this problem. So it is not a matter of geographical proximity. Indeed, the two countries that border Israel, Jordan and Egypt, have diplomatic ties with them.
Right.
So but I don't want us to play down the importance of the Palestinian issue. It's true that because of the Arab problems, that are taking place across West Asia, within the region, that the Palestinian issue is possibly on the back burner as far as Riyadh is concerned, or Abu Dhabi, or some other state. But let us not forget that the popular opinion across West Asia feels very strongly about the Palestinian cause.
Fair enough. Saad, but obviously that muddles things tremendously for Bangladeshi businessmen. How do they perceive the fact that there are no formal ties between Bangladesh and Israel, and yet business continues to thrive?
Actually, as you've seen in the report, the business community as well as many of the government authorities have expressed surprise at the finding we have provided to them that trade between Israel and Bangladesh has grown, particularly Bangladesh's exports to Israel, which the Export Promotion Bureau in Bangladesh documents. But then again, many of the officials within the state agencies are not even aware that such exports are taking place. The exports, which were as low as $2,577 only just 3 years ago, 3 to 4 years ago, have grown to $275,000 in just space of 3 years. And pharmaceutical exports top among those exports, even though government is said to be Bangladesh's major production. So many of these suppliers from Bangladesh are not aware of this taking place, but some of them do believe that it's happening to third countries such as the USA and some European countries that may be doing the intermediation.
Right, Saad, in terms of the political contentions, Ambassador addressed some of those, but what really speaking are the hurdles in a modern Bangladesh preventing, whatever administration is reigning at that time from pursuing any sort of relationship with Israel? Is it just a concern in terms of the way domestic issues dictate, foreign policy, or is there more? And if you could throw light on that, please.
Actually, it is the moral principle. Political parties and the government, successive governments have maintained that they're not going to have any relationship on record officially with Israel, and that's because of its allegiance with Palestinian support and the human rights concerns over there. The Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, as recently as in 2014, has reaffirmed Bangladesh's position, saying that they are not going to have any relation with Israel unless the Palestinian cause has been sorted out. And Israel has to play a key role in that. So that is a position. Having said so, in the political field in Bangladesh, the Awami League government has accused Bangladesh Nationalist Party, the right-wing party, as well as its ally Jamaat-e-Islami, of having links with the Mossad, the Israeli intelligence agency, of conspiring coups and uprooting the government that is in power right now. So those are fields that are there in Bangladesh.
Okay, I've got time for just one last question. I'll take that to you, Ambassador. When it comes to India's relationship with Bangladesh, we've seen strong ties developing even furthermore in the last 6 months or so. Do you feel that now Bangladesh might take a cue from India in terms of developing a relationship with Israel to bridge that gap, or do you think that's looking at it too far?
These matters are not connected.
Okay.
India has its own logic, its own interests. Bangladesh has its own interests. As of now, I don't believe that public opinion in Bangladesh would support an opening to the Israelis until the Palestinian issue has been addressed more seriously. There could be a time in future when this could be possible. As of now, I don't see that's possible at all.
All right. Thanks for keeping that succinct and short. We'll wrap up the discussion on that note. Not before I thank Padma Rao, Ambassador Ahmed, and of course my colleague Saad Hamadi for joining us from Bangladesh.